Now you won't be able to see the plans because I'm trying to do this as efficiently as possible. So I've got the plans off screen, but I'll go through and do a quick check. Now we always want the suburb to be capitalized and no acronyms or shortenings. That all looks good. Queensland, we always try to put in the postcode for them. Barden QLD into Google is 4065. Dun, 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 dun. Looks good, looks good. Geotech and what's this? Is that the Geotech 154 and some photos in an email supposedly? Whoa, we've got a shitload of emails. I just clicked in through that email and there's a heap of photos, so I'm going to download all of those. And I'll just put them all in this photos folder because they'll be helpful to us. Perfect, perfect. Quest prelim pricing, excellent. Design round 1 has been finished. So we need to mark off design round 1 as being complete. Don't need to fill that in because custom design. And now presumably the win rating's in the geotech. But I'm just checking that as well. It is indeed, it's an N2. Hang on, what did I put in then? Why didn't that work? All right, so let's have a look at the old iProx. Now we've got a geotechnical report, so it's not an assumed N2. We've confirmed it actually is an N2 as per the cover page, and the site classification is a P with M-like characteristics. And they've said everything's fine as an M as far as I can tell. So we're going to change this to M/P. That'll be N2. The geotech we're going to write in tracks and then shift and the key above the enter, which does the up and down. And we're going to put in their classification report number, which is 144358. Expiry date, perfect, perfect, perfect. Quick save. That's correct. That looks good. All right, so upper floor area. Now, these plans should be presumably to scale. They are indeed. So I'm just quickly doing the upper floor. 133.66, so we're obviously just the slightest amount difference. Although mine seems to be exactly on all the corners, so I think maybe one of yours maybe just didn't snap right. I'm just checking that again. No, yours is 100% correct. 133.69, perfect. The balcony is under roof, so it will be an above covered area. It is 5.67, 5.66, perfect. Now, so deck at the rear. Sorry, I can't do this on the one screen. I need to do this as fast as possible. $45.64 minus the garage, which is 37.97. It's 107 points. Yep. The two add up the same. Perfect. All right. Pantry. So I'm coming up with a kitchen length of 10.93. It looks like potentially you haven't measured the 1 meter for the fridge. It's made no difference on the pricing though, because the kitchen length is actually less than the allowable length, or allowable length in the contract square meterage. So we didn't offer any discounting for that. The clients could theoretically add another 2.36 linear meters to their kitchen without actually increasing their contract price. I'm just measuring the powder and the wet areas. So I'm just a fraction more. Once again, hasn't made any change to the price. And the deck. And when it comes to porches, we only include the area which is under roof that isn't already above an upper story. Now, in this one here, the porch has its own separate roof, so it's definitely all chargeable. But if this upper story it was actually square like this, and that porch was effectively just a covering underneath, then we would only charge for this little section of roof here. So 8.96. I'm coming up with a much larger value for this. It looks like potentially you haven't charged out for the whole porch. You've only done this small section here. So that's lining up with that. So So it's definitely a separate roof. So the port should be 34.73. Total perimeter we've got is all lightweight cladding. That is correct. So if I take the two lengths, one the 54.34 and 6.9. I don't have the same length as you. I've only got 111.24 for the perimeter. I'm wondering if potentially you've measured around the balcony and also the deck, whereas this is actually just the perimeter of the enclosed areas. So I've got 54.34 and 56.9. Which is reduced that and therefore reduce the total price. Now we've priced this as a steep site, which is probably a little bit unnecessary. I can understand why you chose steep site. Steep site is rarely used. It's for like $1 million mansions on the side of cliffs. For all intents and purposes, everything we're seeing here we can work around with items in iProx. This here is not all that steep of a site for all intents and purposes. It's actually quite a level site. It's just got a slight step here, slight step there, open deck at the rear. Nothing overly challenging, particularly it's just a tall house. So I'm going to bring that back to high set. I'm going to get rid of the fast track discount because I have a strange suspicion this client, seeing as spending 500 grand on a house, is probably not going to be going for fast track. All right. So word wrap, Queensland bricks only. That's good. Now I need to make a copy of I created this new freestanding bathtub item just recently, but I haven't put it into everybody's database yet. Now, this is a Brisbane area, so metropolitan, a lot of houses nearby. There's no way on earth we're going to be able to get away without temporary fencing. We'll definitely have to have that. So we'll do this one here. And the temporary fencing is calculated as pretty much the boundaries of the site or the area you're going to be working within. So we've got 1 to 200 scale. Yes. So you'd have to run it across the front boundary, obviously, and down and around, and they're probably not going to run it all the way to the back because this space down here is just dead, but they're going to want some of this rear yard for storage space because they can't actually get into the backyard. So I'm probably just going to run it to about there, and we're going to be looking for about 94 linear meters. Now, the trick is everything's ordered in 2.5 meter spacing. So 94 divided by 2.5 is 37.6. So 38 times 2.5 is 95 linear meters. We can delete these because we actually know what the wind classification is and the soil classification. These two are conflicting. You would only add this in if you were deleting this item. Now, the house here is, for all intents and purposes, it's heavily in cut at the front. It's heavily in cut here. Um, as for what the intention would be for this rear section, you've got two options. One, you could stop the slab here and you could do all of that on bearers and joists at the rear and enclose the subfloor. Or alternatively, you could do that in slab with some deepened edge beams down to enclose the fill. Or you could do them in short depth retaining walls from the start and then bury them. It's not abundantly clear. There we go. It would appear they're showing that as a retaining wall on a strip footing with compacted fill and the slab going over and then a deck there. All right. So there will be some piering, but the piering will be quite negligible because all this here is on cut, all that's on cut. We've only got this small section here at the rear that's actually on fill. And the traditional rule for the amount, say, a waffle slab can sit on uncontrolled fill before needing piering is about 3 meters from its support. So if this here was less than 3 meters, as in if the ground started falling about here, you'd be able to say with confidence that you wouldn't need any piers because you can span 3 meters without piers. We're going to end up with probably one row of piers right here, another row of piers there, and then the slab sitting on top. So $5,000 is probably on the upper side for what is only going to be about 8 or 10 piers. But I'm going to back that off to about $4,000. You'll also note that the text was out of date. It didn't say professional engineer with a capital E. We've got the plans, we've got a survey, we've got a geotechnical, so we can delete that. Looks like a nice healthy list. We've got digital TV antenna, we've got that. Now, because we've got owner supplied plans without a lighting plan, we need to add in the lighting plan disclaimer. Now, what this does is just reaffirms to them that we haven't allowed for any sizable changes to the electrical. One verification report, good. It's Queensland, that's perfect. Now, have you done the double story? You have indeed, perfect. All right. So proposed driveway and crossover. So what have we got in terms of driveway? To the driver and path, 40 to 49 square meters. Now it would appear this here is existing, and it doesn't note that it's being taken away or retained. But at the same time, it seems very, very odd you would leave it there and then put a fancy new driveway in. So I'm just going to assume we're repurposing all that. And just put that up a range. All right, now we want to add the concrete to the porch. Now there is no concrete to the alfresco because there is no alfresco. There's a deck at the rear which is actually decking. So we just need to add the concrete for the porch. Which, sorry, you have already done, but you didn't delete the note saying that the concreting wasn't included, so we need to delete that note. Now we need this to say porch only. And your figure of 8.97 sounds pretty consistent. Yeah, we throw a letterbox in, perfect. All right, let's start going through some of these extensive items. So you've got retaining wall core filled 1400 and over, and then you've got up to 1400, and then your stairs for your split level slab. All right, let's have a look, see. So we've got the lower floor, and wow, we've actually got stairs going down at the back of the garage and stairs going up to the upper floor immediately out of the foyer. Oh yeah, that's the garage, that lines up. Now, we haven't necessarily been told that they're concrete steps. The ones on the back of the garage, due to the boundary offset, will need to be concrete for, I guess, legal requirements, construction requirements. The ones inside the house, given the ones going upstairs are presumably timber, you could make the same assumption. The ones going down to the lower floor, given that there's enough stairs there to do a whole flight, could be done in timber only. All right, so what I'm going to do here is go stairs, and I'm going to put in an extra set of stairs. Yes. How are you? All right, so the stairs, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can put this one here in. Now this is going to cover the stairs running down from the foyer to the actual ground beneath. As it says there, there's no allowance for the balustrade in this price, so we will have to add the balustrade separately. But this will be stairs going to lower section on the lower floor and garage. Stairs going up are already included in the upper floor pricing to get up to the upper story. We do, however, have another set of stairs then to get to the rumpus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Stairs from upper floor to the rumpus. Now, I'm going to get rid of that stairs split level slab item because we haven't used that for some time. Get rid of that. All right, so that's our steps going up and down. All right. Hard floor and soft floor, obviously your price is 0, but it's just helpful to have them in there to know that you've definitely done it right. There's no lighting plans. I'm just going to say allowance here. 900 white breakfast bar. It's not dimensioned. If I just check that, it does indeed measure 900. Good pickup. Bathrooms. Now we've got a total living area of 240 odd square meters, and we do have a shower in the powder, which for all intents and purposes makes it a bathroom. So 1 there, 2 and 3 bathrooms. So that's correct. There is 2 baths though. Do we have the extra bath? Additional design range bath. So we've got that. External corners. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the upper floor. 8, 9, 10, and 11. Perfect. gable end. Now we have several gable ends on this house, front and back. Each one would be measured separately. So you've got the gable, one gable, two gables, three gables, four gables, 5, 6, 7 gables. Now, structural steel beam. Now we know there's a steel beam that's running through the garage. It's a 300 PFC sitting on a steel post, and then going through the garage head and cantilevering out. There is also a steel beam running through the garage head itself to carry that steel beam, because otherwise it's sitting nowhere. So it's going to have to come all the way over here like that. There's another steel beam running through here, which for such a short span seems quite excessive. And another one through there. And they've got a random SHS post right here, which I'm not sure of its intentions. Must be a point load for that upper story. We've also got a very sizable timber wing beam running through the upper story, because that's one long run of wall. So there's going to be a wind beam running pretty much the whole length of that wall there, which we need to charge out as a timber beam. So we've got 6.57, 4.45, 7.36, 5.37 is 23.75. And timber beam. Wind beam along left side wall. So what a wind beam does is it stiffens the wall from the loads and effectively provides something solid between your upper and lower floor. So there's going to be a wind beam pretty much the entire length of this wall, because it's one straight run that needs stiffening. So we're going to have 14.37. That price is probably a bit excessive. It's a sizable beam, and it's going to require a crane lift and some detailing and some columns and the like. But that's definitely a bit heavy. I'm going to back that off to about 150. All right, now let's jump through a little bit. Zero lot wall 6.18 is correct. You need to write to the garage. Importing and or exporting of fill. Now we've got a bit of a cut here. There's not much there though. Got quite a sizable cut here. A little bit of it's going to be eaten there, but I would anticipate we're probably going to have to lose some spoil on the back of the site. But I wouldn't be too concerned though, because we've got plenty of space. We can spread that before we start running into trees. So we will leave this actually. So we're just going to create an item. Integrity franchising, provide a provisional sum allowance for spreading excess. Let's put that in there at, I don't know, $500, and that's going to allow about 4 hours worth of machine handling to push the dirt around on the back of the site. All right, so once again, we've got the notes here saying it's not included and then it is included. So it's only one or the other. So we have those notes on there because our base price doesn't include those things. But then when we add them, we have to delete the note saying it's not included. Otherwise, it just confuses people. So we've got guest, bed 1, bed 2, bed 3, and bed 4. So it looks like you've put the names in, which looks good. So I can now just quickly check those. Nope, that's the wrong scale. 0.85. So there's nothing there. Seven one. Now it's usually helpful if you put in um, the robe names as well. That gives some confidence to the client that we haven't overlooked that, or that we haven't specifically excluded it. So ideally, it should say bed 1, walk-in robe. Yeah, or bed 1, walk-in robe. Bed 1, walk-in robe. Bed 1, robe. Bed 2, robe, and so on and so forth. So does the guest downstairs have a robe? It does not. So it would be guest, bed 1, bed 1, walk-in robe, bed 1, robe, bed 2, bed 2, robe, bed 3, bed 3, robe, bed 4, and bed 4, robe as per plan. 16, 69.67, almost to the millimeter perfect. All right, now we've got Cortex over concrete or hybrid floor. Now we've got those stupid characters, and now we need to delete. Foyer, living, kitchen, family, dine, rumpus, and study. So the question mark is, what are the stairs? We've got two options here when it comes to pricing houses like this. We can either A, treat the entire upper floor and stairs as carpet, which is going to be the cheaper option, or alternatively, we can assume that the hallway on the upper story is going to be hybrid, as will the stairs, as will the rumpus, which is obviously more expensive. So if we were looking for the cheapest entry point, which is what we really are from the outset, we would write in bed 4, robe, upper floor hall, study, rumpus, and upper floor hall, and also stairs. And then we would measure this through here. Now, putting carpet in is going to be quite a bit cheaper than the alternate. It's going to allow us to get our price down. Now this broom you can't actually get into, but I'm going to assume is meant to be accessible from the hallway here. And go around that. Something like that. So plus 37.72 is 107. Plus 37.69 is 107.36. Still only got one of those. We need to write upper room. Unless there's only one broom. Shelves, linen, niche. So we can probably get rid of the word upper floor because there is only one broom. You need to say provide 3. All right, so that's the carpet done. Now for the hard flooring, we'll assume the foyer, the lower stairs. Now it's not clear what stops you from actually being able to go under those stairs. It doesn't say that there's a hole there or door or anything. I'm just going to measure straight through that there, which is going to be my buffer for my dishwasher and the like. Right through there, niche. And up. So 51.98. Family dine, linen. Nothing that you've done here is actually wrong. It's just about I guess getting that price down primarily. Lower floor stairs. Now we need to add in the stair labor for the floor coverings. There is each tread is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 treads. So I'm just going to change this to say builder's range MDF because it's you can do it in anything. I thought I'd already changed that to a quantity of 3. So how are we tracking on price? 501 versus 514, so I'm still coming in a little better. Obviously because I got rid of the fast track. All right, so we've got one linen broom there, so we've got a second linen we need to charge out for. Which you've presumably done as the one in the laundry, I guess. 2.4. Another linen here again. which I didn't include in our carpet floor coverings by the looks of it. Oh, I'm not stressed. We measured straight through that. 1.13. So I try to put those in separately wherever possible, just so I can put the location of them. Upper floor hall linen. And we've got a broom, one broom, that's fine. We have to charge out the second broom. Oh, you've got one in bed one, which is 1.48, so bed one robe, perfect. Now we've got this second one here that's in the hallway on the upper story. It is 0.97. Now we've already measured the upper story linen. We've said that they can have that linen for free, so we've now got to charge this one out, which is another 0.81, which is obviously where you came up with that figure from. Lower floor linen. Geez, there's a lot of items in this, isn't there? Clothesline, that's fine. Linear cladding. Some privacy screens, site works. Now, there's in excess of 1 meter of fall on this site, given that the retaining wall itself is about 1400. So I'm just going to go and put in, I don't know, 70 cube, which is probably, it's maybe on the high side, I'll put in about 40 cube, which will allow us another 5 hours or so of earthworks on the site for the shaping and the like. M-class slab, that's correct. Now the retaining wall 1400 and over. If we measured from the base level up, that's correct. So we've got to run from the side here all the way across, and probably something like that. There'll be that line there. Now they've got all these stairs here, which means there's got to be some kind of retaining wall here, because you can't just shape dirt with stairs. It's just, the retaining wall is going to have to run out to the boundary to achieve that. And we'll presumably have to run into this boundary and potentially part way up this side as well, which is not overly evident, but this here can't be built below ground level. So if that neighbour's carport is there and the ground level is a differing height, they may end up having to do something there, build the lower section of this wall in retaining wall or something. I'm really not 100% certain what the intentions are there. But it turns out this wall here is brick veneer, so we shouldn't have put in the whole perimeter as lightweight clad, because there's a sectional wall there that's actually not, being 6.18. So it should be 105.06. So linear cladding there, linear cladding there. We've got higher ceilings. Yeah, perfect. in for a coffee break. All right, so pull these plans back up. We've got the extra bathroom, which includes a vanity, shower, and toilets. That's perfect. We need to do this niche. Plasterboard niche to living as per plan. Perfect. Now we've got these shelves, which I'm assuming must mean 4. Provide upgraded cabinet made white. No. So this would be an upgrade from like a robe shelving to cabinet made shelving. So the one we're after would be provide builder's range fixed shelves, non-adjustable, white melamine shelves. And 1.33. And that's to, I guess, hall. Lower floor. Lower hall. Get rid of that one. Cabinet made desk to the study. $2 neat. Perfect. Cabinet made dressing table, builder's range laminate to bed 1. 1.62. Why does it say 3.62? Must have been keyed wrong. All right, so we've got some double hung windows. Geez, you even got those. 2.1 times 0.6 times 2 should be 2.52 meters squared. Now these front doors here, that's not nearly sufficient overhead protection you'd be able to get away with timber, so they're definitely going to have to end up being aluminium, which is the way they're detailed. So these are for pine doors. What we're just going to do is add in 2 French doors. Garage laundry, so we'll change that to 4. To garage, to balcony, no, what's that room called? Rumpus. Total. I'm going to lift this pricing up because those are decorative doors. That one there, well, it's shown as a half door, but will actually end up having to be a full glass door, as will that one there. We wouldn't ever do that, but that's fine the way it is. It's just an allowance. All right, anti-con to the whole roof as per this note here. So the upper story roof over, and I guess any lower roofs over the lower floor, which I think is probably just the garage. So we'd be putting it here and the roof of the upper story, and I guess the deck as well, since it's all under the one roof. So we'll be doing something like that. 9.16. probably just measure this roof here. We've got a roof there, we've got a roof there, and a roof there. But because we do it based upon the living area, not based upon the roof area, or the total area, if you will, we want to measure the living spaces. So 9.16 for the garage, 139.37 for the upper story. Then we've got this roof just here. Sorry, that shouldn't be 15.87. That should just be the porch area to keep it consistent, which would be 8.96, and the deck area being 25.77, so 183.26. Stacker door to family, 21 by 36 stacker, excellent. The obscure glazed window item, we only charge for obscure glazing to areas that aren't wet areas. The wet areas are entitled to obscure glazing as standard. This is just for external, as in other rooms, if someone wanted to put an obscure glazing on their bedroom, for example. Got some awnings. How long is that cooktop? It's a 750, which is non-standard. So I'm going to bump that up to a 900. Although it would appear I'm not quite sure what's going on with these windows. 1400, they've tried to put a window exactly either side. So I'm going to put it through as a 900, but it'll probably end up getting changed. So just lets them know that we've acknowledged it. 1200 entry door. That's correct. Something's happened here. We shouldn't have those extra spaces at the start and end of the word. To WC and powder. So WC has ended up with a basin. And the powder, because we've charged them the bathroom rate, technically they're entitled to a full vanity, so I wouldn't be inclined to charge them for that. So it would be just the WC. 1800 vanity to the bathroom and 800 with double to the ensuite. Correct. And correct. Length of the bath. That is correct. Now, one thing is this is shown as having a shower panel, which is a fixed glass panel. This bathroom here we can assume is a shower screen. We've done the obscure glazing to the WC and bathroom, that's fine. We've now done the shower panel, we've done the vanity, we've done the vanity, we've done the basin, we've done the dressing table. We need to do these 620 double doors. Bed 1 robe. Now bifold to ensuite $1,800. It's probably a bit hot. I'm going to back that off to about $1,000. And we're just going to write bed 1 because usually when we talk about like doors, we talk about the room, I guess it's in. Oh, actually, no, we'll leave it as ensuite. We've got the shower to the ensuite 1. Is there more than one ensuite? No. Alright, so we've got the oven tower. That's correct. Now this is a single bowl sink with a drainer. This one doesn't actually have a sink, doesn't have a drainer. Technically, it's a butler's pantry with a second sink, and that one there's just a standard sink. So we're looking for the butler's pantry item with the extra sink. And we need to upgrade that to a sink without drainer. I don't know if we've got any without a drainer. Without drainer. To butler's pantry. They've done a laundry bench, which I guess they have. It's not 100% clear, but if we do that, 2.4. Concrete has now been added to the porch. Slowly getting there. So shower with no hob in or step down. So we'd actually have 2 on the upper floor, 1 there and 1 there, and we'd have 1 on the lower floor. What I'm gonna do is push out timber floor to bathroom and ensuite as per plan. 2 in total because that would be 2 different step downs that need to be done to powder. That's a plan. This franchisee doesn't care too much about this architrave and skirting upgrade. That was New England. 2740 ceilings to lower living and garage as per plan. So we've got 2740. Let's have a look here. So 2740 to the guest, 2590 to the upper floor with bed 4. What is going on? Oh, that's front to back, is it? Just trying to make sense. So that's over the foyer. Try to make sense of this. So the roof's going side to side. So it must be this sticky bit here in the center that we're looking at, which is that one there, where it's really rather high. So I'm just going to add a contingency because that's complicated roof. We have a complicated roofline item, complex angle designs. this is probably a good one to run over it once we're so that would be 337,400. That was weird. Seven 400. Now the balustrade to the front, because we've already included it in the upper floor area, we don't need to charge out its decking. We just have to note that it's included with the balustrade. So it would be provide. No. Okay. Let's circle back here. This rear section's more than 1 meter above the ground and it's over roof. So this section, as well as the balcony, should both be in the upper floor area, and then the lower floor should be just the porch itself. So we've got 25.77 plus the balcony, which is 5.67 to 31.44. And then the lower section should be just the porch, which is 8.96. And now this should be to balcony and to deck with 0 price. To balcony and deck as per plan. And because we've already included the decking by putting it in the high set covered area item, we don't have to charge out the decking or the balustrade for it. So this rate already includes the balustrade, so we don't need to charge the balustrade to the balcony. We do have to do it elsewhere though. And then the treated upon privacy screen is presumably the fretwork, I'm assuming. Why that says bifold, I don't know. It should say it's actually a stacker. That balustrade's fine. 2740 to the garage and 2740 to the rear there. What have we got here? 2620 there. It might just be the way we're measuring. It should be 2590. Obviously, they haven't drawn this with particle board, I'm assuming. Oh no, 360 floor system. That's odd. They've drawn it as a 360 floor system, even though they've only notated it as a 300 by 40. Can only assume that's some kind of oversight, or maybe they intend to batten out the bottom of the underside of the floor. Not 100% certain. So we can mark that off. builder's range post to porch. Now 125 by 125 isn't even a post size, so it's either going to have to be a 140 or like a 135 post, which is presumably the one you've used there. So 2.65. 2.48. It's 4.96. We got two of them as far as I can tell. Those definitely aren't big ones, they're just 90s. So 1, 2, 3 of them. 7.44. Always try and do the smaller number first. Yep, that looks good. 4 builders range. Why is that price? Treated pine post. Wonder why those two prices are different. 70. Why they'd be timber, I don't know. But yes, they are full height posts going all the way up. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll just put that, just hide that item. We've already got the varying note there, so we don't need to put it in twice. Balcony and deck, we've already got that. Now the SHS 75 by 75 posts. So those are structural steel posts, presumably for the lower floor to carry the upper. So we got one there. 2, 3, 4, 5. Seems to be all of them. So the steel beam one for the garage will just be holding up the garage beam in this wall frame just here. So we're going to have whatever that is there. It's the underside of the floor, so it'll be 2.86. Sorry, 2.74. 2.74 on that one. We've got this SHS post over here. Its intention is, I'm very unclear what it's for, but I assume it's sitting in line here, maybe holding up that balcony or something. We'll assume it's 2.74 as well. We've got 1, 2, 3 of them down the bottom, which are also presumably 2.74. 2.74 times 5 is 13.7. Termite barrier will be the lower floor perimeter, minus the garage door. 56.9 minus 4.8 is 52.1. Just want to make sure that it says lower floor. We can just get rid of this note here because it's not true, because it's cladding. Upgrade to 29. So upper floor is 133.69 plus the balcony on the upper floor, which is 5.67 on 39.36. I'll just say upper floor because it's the balcony as well. 2652 porch and lower floor, including garage. Technically, we're calling it the lower floor as well, or maybe we just go lower floor and garage. So the question is, what is the ceiling height in the actual entry, or the whatever they call it, the foyer? So it would be the lower floor, foyer, and garage. So we've got a lower floor area of 107.86 plus a garage area of 37.93. So, and presumably we need to have a quick look at the ceiling height of the rear section here, which is actually quite high by the looks of it. Looks like it's a raking ceiling, one directional. So I need to charge that out as a raking ceiling off the back there, or a ceiling how high in the center point. 3170. And the deck area is 25.77.